Yeah, so here's my opinion, and this, I don't, in the history of League of Legends, this has never fully changed. I've said in the past, sometimes, there's characters who could feel better if they changed some slight stuff, but it just feels bad for now, and then it ends up feeling a bit better kind of thing. But in terms of the base kind of experience of playing it, this is like the same tier, maybe even slightly lower than the Swain rework. I get it. I get what they're trying to do. I get it, how it's supposed to function, and how it could be played much better, obviously. How do I want to phrase this? But I don't know. It's one of those things that it feels like there's just something missing to make it feel right. And it's not going to be numbers. Unless they... Well, here's the thing. You can cheat and way overtune a character in numbers, and then it's going to feel right. If you're not being honest with yourself. It's like, oh no, the character's not overpowered. I'm just good. No, it's not that kind of thing. Just the experience of playing it. Something about what he does. Everything is just a little bit frustrating to play. Reminds me of Kaisa in that sense a lot. Where it just doesn't fully come together a lot of the time. Even when you do things right. But I don't know. What do you guys... Is there anyone who... What do you guys think? Do you agree? Am I, like, totally off the mark in anyone's opinion? Is there anyone who just, like, straight up loves the character? Okay, here's a good question. Very specific. You can say otherwise in chat, like you agree or whatever, but looking specifically for anyone who really... And I'm open to, like, your opinion. I'm not here to, like, say, oh my god, he loves him, everyone get him, kind of thing. Is there someone out there who absolutely loves this character, who has played it, not seen it and, like, he's trying to theory craft, that has its place, just not right now? There's anyone out there who has played this and they absolutely love it, and why is it that you like this character like that? If there's anyone at all. For League of Legends, I would say he's probably slightly higher on the end of skill cap. He said derisively. But... Because, yeah, you can fuck his combos up and stuff like that. It'll take a couple days to get used to, maybe a day. You think you're removing the playstyle? Oh, the playstyle is... As far as reworks go... It's quite different, I would say, yeah. Like, he's much more... He's like a combo bruiser. Is the idea. Like, the old Aatrox... To be honest, I would rather play the new Aatrox than the old one, because I didn't like the old one. Just because... I don't know, I didn't like jump in, you auto-attack, if you get low, you deal ridiculous damage and heal a whole bunch. It was kind of... I don't want to overuse the term binary because I use it so much in this game, but I mean, a lot of the game is binary. But I mean, I'm not saying anyone who liked it is terrible. I just didn't like the idea of you jump in, you auto-attack, you get kind of low, and then you do lots of damage, and you also heal back a whole bunch, and it was just like, yeah, you were a very basic drain tank. I mean, maybe not drain tank is the right word, but like self-heal tank kind of thing. This is some kind of Riven-Darius Victor thing. This Clunky is the old Aatrox, so I think he's just perfect. They capture the essence of Aatrox. Wait, here's the thing. I don't think old Aatrox was clunky at all. He was so basic he couldn't be clunky because he would jump in, auto attack, blow his ult at some point, and that was it. I do agree. I mean, the theme. Yeah, if you're talking like kind of a lore, a perspective, whatever theme kind of thing. Yeah, I think he feels the way, I guess, sort of like the direction they want to take him. Like, I can understand that. Like, he's very, like, kind of this imposing, I'm gonna just knock you around and probably eventually kill you kind of thing, so. It feels like he's using a great sword, I guess. I think that came across relatively well. So, yeah, no, I could feel this sort of building for a few games now. The character, I don't know. I don't think this is Riot's best job with a rework. It's not bad, it's viable, it's not horrible. It fills a specific niche, role, purpose, whatever playstyle that some people might enjoy. Again, even if you really like it, I think people will recognize that it's a bit clunky. Something about it just doesn't jive. Maybe that'll get fixed, maybe it won't. I might try this again another day. But yeah, I don't know, it's just kind of weird, because like I said, most reworks I've done, at least they feel good to play. There's just something off about it. Again, I think it's... The best explanation I have for it is that even when you do something cool, it's not as satisfying as it could be. Because it's usually because the enemy team screwed up or someone else did something for you. That then you do the cool thing, and then ultimately it doesn't feel nearly as cool. Dragon Ball? No, not today. Not after League. Leo doesn't fit his animations? I didn't actually think about that. I said I was going to listen to his audio, and then I totally forgot. Someone mentioned something about his ult earlier, and they're wishing for like an actual move instead of a buff. That may add into it. It's just kind of like you use an ult, and it just doesn't really feel like you do anything cool. You just kind of like, I mean, it's amusing to res. But the res is almost always the most useful when you get the enemy to stick around longer than they should, and then someone else does something cool. For example, like here's an example I like to use for like really cool ults that, you know, even if you don't like the rest of the kit, I feel like everyone can agree that when you land a really cool Galio ult, it feels awesome. It's like, bam, you come in, punch, you save someone, a bunch of awesome stuff happens, and you feel like, you know, you did something noteworthy. You know, it helps you get into the game a bit. This guy, I just feel like I pressed a button. If that makes sense. And, like, he's not all bad. I don't want to say this rework is bad. It's just really underwhelming. Oh, I get what you mean. Like, his voice is a bit too intense for his slightly more muted animations and stuff. Yeah. I get what you mean. Yeah, I guess if for the animation to match his voice, it would be more like he'd have to be just kind of like moving around a bit more, and maybe just kind of... It feels like he would be pulsing rage, like he's just kind of twitching and swinging his weapon around, and maybe have a bit more kind of a feral outlook to him, but... Bard ult impact. Yeah. See, Bard feels good too to use his ult, at least when you use it properly. And when you use it incorrectly, I'm sure it's... Well, it's funny to the person using it, I guess. Maybe not to the person who is on the receiving end of a bad Bard ult, but... and I'm not saying everything needs to be a Galio tier or, you know, Bard tier game-changing awesome thing. It could be, you know, slightly more subtle. I was just using a, you know, extreme example to illustrate my point, but... Yeah, his Q definitely adds into the sort of the wonkiness to it. And again, I'm sure it's not as annoying once you get a bit more used to it, but I don't think it's ever going to feel right. Head out for now. Alright, Green, if we're actually turning the stream off momentarily, so thanks for tuning in. Remake the remake. Yeah, he can be the new Rise. Anyway,